Yo, what's going on, family? I just wanted to hop on here um and say happy birthday to the dog, DMX, um, Earl Simmons, aka again DMX. He would have been 51 years old today. Um, yeah, passed away a year ago, and it was a real sad. It was real sad for the hip hop community because son was one of the greatest rappers of all time. He brought hardcore hip hop back. We talked about in the 90s video how hip hop, we was afraid in New York and in Los Angeles to really rap hardcore anymore. It got into a point where it was like some shiny suit era type shit, right? And we got, because Biggie and Pac had died. The Biggie and Pac beef was so such had such a hard effect on the hip hop community that we were scared to even go hardcore anymore. Mace and Puffy, they were doing some shiny suit era stuff, and then boom, It's Dark and Hell is High comes out, and hardcore hip hop is reborn again in 1998. Anybody that was around at that time remembers the atmosphere of fear that existed after Biggie and Pac passed away. And when DMX came back out, it was like that hardcore sound was reborn. Where my dogs at? you know, Rough Riders anthem. Had a whole of New York bopping their heads, man. The Rough Riders compilation album, the one in '99, that shit was fire, man. DMX changed the game. DMX brought back hardcore hip hop. So rest in peace to the brother. And yo, energy at a DMX concert was unmatched. You know what I mean? People could say, okay, yeah, Hove took the mantle for New York after Big died, but he didn't have the energy. Hove didn't have the energy like DMX, and Lisa's absolutely right. DMX had the spiritual side. DMX's struggle was very similar to the struggle of Tupac. You know what I mean? It was almost like Tupac was reborn inside DMX's body. You know, Tupac had that struggle between doing what is right and being a product of his environment. He had the two halves to him. Marvin Gaye had that as well, and DMX had it too. But DMX would take it to a whole nother level because of his Christianity, because of how devout he was in Christianity. He would inject biblical verses in it, and he would have whole conversations with himself and the God and himself and the devil. And one thing about him was he was very much like, and wrestling fans will know this comparison, Jake the Snake Roberts. We as wrestling fans, we know all about Jake the Snake Roberts' struggles with drugs, and DMX was similar. DMX will be open about his struggles with drugs, open about his battle with addiction, and that was something that helped a lot of people that was battling with addiction. You know what I mean? It helped a lot of people that were battling with addiction listening to his music. Then there was X, a couple of songs there. But I'm talking about strictly the first album, 1998. 1998 was a year of magic in hip hop because you had his first album, you had um, Hard Knock Life, you had um, you had Big Pun's first album, and even Cannabis's first album. Even though Cannabis later got embarrassed, and LL, brought him out. You had all that coming together in 1998, and it made for a magical year. It was the year that I consider that hardcore hip hop was reborn again. After Biggie and Pac died, shit slowed down, and then 1998 picked up again. DMX took that mantle, and DMX just ran with it, bro. You know, he had people walking around barking like a dog. Shout out to my homie James. He used to be a big DMX fan, going around barking like DMX, man. you know, you know, you know what I mean? It was just, and then he brought out Eve, and then he movie. I gotta say, Lisa, Romeo Must Die. Romeo Must Die was the shit for me as far as movies go. He could have did more with movies, but I think his addiction held him back. And he could have been a bigger rapper than Jay Z. I'm just saying that he could have been a bigger rapper than Jay Z. He had more energy than Jay. His energy on stage was just bananas. I went to a DMX show once in about 2002, I think it was, at the Garden. And when he got on there, it was not like any other rapper you've ever seen. Usually rappers when they rap on stage are a lot of breath, huffing and puffing, or they're standing in one place just rapping. With DMX, he'd be around the stage, going around and around. Dude had energy, man. Dude had energy. His energy was so big that even, yeah, he was. Jay Z didn't really become big until like the 2000s, until like the blueprint, which was 2001. Before that, DMX had the crown. There'll never be another rapper like DMX. Remember that song with Faith Evans? What's the name of that shit with him and Faith Evans? um, since you gave me that, since you gave me the pussy, that ass getting fat. You know that shit, yo. And slipping, like I said, when he first passed away, slipping that song, yo. Anybody that's ever um, been through struggles. Let me look that Faith Evans song up for a minute. Okay, yeah, I finally got it. How's it going down? Lisa already had it. Lisa BB2A. How's it going down? Yeah, that song, man. Yo, and another one, slipping. Like I said, um, anybody that has ever been through a problem with addiction, with alcohol, with anything, they know that when he be like, uh, I ain't keep my hair cut, I ain't give a fuck how I dress, I'm depressed. That's real, man. Yo, I've been through that. You know what I mean? I went through that. You know what I mean? His lyrics was beyond just lyrics. But then again, he did have songs, you know what I mean? Like, um, where he would. It was good party anthems. Rough Riders anthem. Stop, drop. Like he took no cap. He took something that we learned in elementary school, kindergarten. Stop, drop, and roll, and turned it into the most gangster shit that you've ever heard in your life. Stop, drop, shut him down, open up shop. Instead of stop, drop, and roll, stop, drop, and shut him down, open up shop. But um, you know, uh, even party songs. That was a party song. That was a party one that would get the crowd. We didn't They didn't have crunk back then, but get the crowd lit, get the crowd excited. Oh, but and this one, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me go all out up in here, up in here. That shit. Oh, and who can forget? Party up, yeah, Lisa. Who can forget Reservoir Dogs with him, Mace, and him, Mace, and the Locks? Yo, that collaboration, boy, that showed you a different side of Mace. That showed you why Mace said, "I was murder. P Diddy made me pretty." Because when Mace got on that, um, not Reservoir Dogs, that's Jay Z. Um, uh, anyway, I think of it. Oh, okay, yeah, done started something. Yeah, that one, and also 24 Hours to Live. Black Rob was on there. Even on the songs when he got on with other people, yo, he just tore it up, man. Yo, he tore it. He had a song dissing Ja Rule on the Hail Mary beat with him and Eminem. Yo, he got that Ja Rule's ass. Yeah, as if Ja Rule didn't need how as if Ja Rule didn't or wasn't already dead. DMX destroyed Ja Rule even further. DMX was the man, yo. It was a point in 1998 that he was the best rapper alive, man. From about 1998 to about 2000, he was better than Jay Z. He was better than, well, 50 didn't exist then, but he was better than Jay Z. He was better than anybody else out. You know what I mean? He made people want to have dogs. You know what I mean? He made people love dogs. You know what I mean? He was in a strange way. He was a animal advocate. And then the song he had with Aaliyah, right? He dedicated to Aaliyah. What he says on I'll be missing you. I miss you. The remix is so heartbreaking, and how his dedication was to Aaliyah, and how he was ready to beat the shit out of Drake for Aaliyah. Right, pit bulls, yeah. And that makes him an animal advocate, at least, because here's a dog that is discriminated against. If there was such a thing as racism with dogs, pit bulls would be at the bottom of the list. Pit bulls are discriminated against in the dog community. You know what I mean? Not by other dogs, but by dog owners. You know what I mean? They have a bad reputation. But here you had DMX, the most popular rapper in America, advocating for pit bulls. But what he said for the Aaliyah, right? Um, Miss You the remix. Oh yeah, everybody wanted to kill him. Star from Star and Buck. But what he said on Aaliyah's song, "Missing You," it's like it goes to show you. It's kind of like Tupac and me and Lisa have a video about this. It's kind of like Tupac and Left Eye. You didn't need uh you didn't need to have a sexual relationship with somebody to feel close to them. Sometimes people that are opposite gender, like a male and a female, right? They can be like best friends, buddies, brothers and sisterly. It doesn't have to always be, and this is what people automatically assume, and they get it wrong all the time. There always has to be some sexual shit. With Aaliyah and DMX, it was some brotherly and sisterly shit. He looked out for it. And when Drake, and I like Drake, and Lisa knows we disagree about Drake and whatever, but I felt like when Drake tried to take Aaliyah's name and tried to remake her songs, and when DMX was mad at him for doing that, what was wrong about that was you were trying to eat off the legacy of somebody who passed away many years ago. You were trying to get rich or get fat off of the legacy of a person that you never even met. You're just trying to use the person's legacy, and DMX was not having that shit with Leah. He wasn't. He wasn't about to do that. We're not doing that. Wu Tang let Drake slide and let Drake do that. I don't know why. you know, you know what I mean? But DMX wasn't about to allow that to happen. Because that's what you do when you love somebody, you go all out for them. You know what I mean? And that was wrong about what Drake did. People say, oh, well, what was wrong about it, right? He just wanted to pay tribute. No, there's paying tribute and then there's ripping somebody off. You don't have the right, like, if somebody right now, right, takes my video and then makes a different video about it and makes a lot of money off of it and doesn't pay the residuals to me, then that's not a tribute. That's not imitation. That's not doing me a big up. That's stealing from me. You understand? So that was what DNF was ready to pop off about. And then the beef with Jay-Z, when Jay became president of Def Jam, he didn't even look out for DMX. Right. And you know, Jay-Z didn't look out for DMX, and that showed, in my opinion, that Jay was not loyal. And loyalty has to be above everything. Everything that you say, loyalty must be at the top. Because if you're not loyal, then I don't have any reason to other deal with you. And I think that's why DMX was attracted to dogs too. Because I'm a cat person, but I will say one thing: dogs are mad loyal. You know? But yeah, DMX's energy was such. His energy was like a rock star. He was like a rock star. You go down on his shows or you watch his videos or whatever, and his energy was like a rock star. Rough Riders anthem, yo, like Lisa said, when you played that song, man, in 1998, it didn't matter if you didn't even like rap. If you was a regular white person, remember that movie Down to Earth? with Chris Rock when he goes into the white guy's body, and then um Rough Rough Riders anthem comes on, and all of a sudden he starts singing it. He starts singing it, and like he doesn't realize that he's in the rich white guy's body, and he starts like. Niggas wanna ride, niggas wanna and then, and then, and then somebody, I think it was the part was played by Method Man, turns around and just slaps him in the face. Yo, but that shit, besides being in another body, yo, that happened a lot because it was a song that had the N word in it a lot, but you got wrapped up in it, right? Because it had a lot of energy to it, and not to mention he saved the locks. Like by putting them on Rough Riders, it gave the locks back their energy. Gave the locks back their desire to want to do music again. He saved Eve's career. Eve was originally signed to Dr. Dre's Aftermath label, and Dr. Dre wasn't doing nothing with her. He put her on, and now look where she's at. You know what I mean? So the love he shared with the whole hip hop community, I just feel like we did him wrong. Like a lot of people in the hip hop community did him wrong because of his drug use. And now bozos out there promoting drug use in their music, like Future. You know, and it's like Nori always says, bro. Give people their flowers while they're still alive to smell them. Appreciate people because you never know when they'll be gone. So, in terms of animal advocacy and in terms of hip hop, DMX is a legend, and he should be in. Well, I don't know. They put hip hop artists in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now, but I would love to see hip hop have its own Hall of Fame. And if it ever does, DMX belongs in that first class, bro. I mean, yes, all the other hip hop legends that came before him, but for saving the game, saving hardcore hip hop in 1998, bringing it out of the shiny suit era, getting us over that hump that we were in New York City after the death of Biggie. Because, see, that's the difference with us and California. California never really got over that hump of losing Tupac. They kind of stayed. Well, they do have one, okay. Well, that's where he belongs then. California stayed at that level. California didn't get back on their feet until after the game came out in 2005. That was years ago. Years after. DMX was the one, him and Jay-Z, but more so him, took the mantle and brought hardcore back, brought the streets back to hip hop. And that's what he should get his flowers for, as well as showing what a human being is. Yeah, he was gangster. Yeah, he was tough, but he also showed his humble side and his love for his dogs and his love for Aaliyah and his love for the people he put on. So, peace to DMX. Rest in peace to him. I enjoyed his music and happy heavenly birthday, dog. Peace. Love you guys. Lisa, thank you for contributing.